Hi everyone, glad to have you back here. Today's title is The Beast of Black Hollow Farm. I never believed in monsters. I was a man of the land, hardened by time and toil. But nothing could have prepared me for the nightmare that lurked in the dark woods beyond Black Hollow Farm. If you think the stories of the Dogman are just folklore, let me tell you otherwise. Because I saw it, I fought it, and I barely made it out alive. It started with the cattle. One by one, I found them torn apart, their bodies shredded like paper, bones cracked open as if something was feeding on the marrow. At first, I thought it was wolves, but wolves don't leave claw marks taller than a man. Wolves don't rip through solid barn doors like they were made of straw. My wife, Ellen, begged me to call the authorities, but what was I supposed to say? That something was butchering our animals and watching our home from the tree line? I had seen glowing amber eyes at night, staring at me, unblinking. I had heard the guttural growls, something too deep, too wrong for any one known creature. The other farmers whispered stories, legends passed down about a beast that stalked these lands long before the first settlers. I didn't believe them, not until the night it came for me. It was just past midnight. The air was thick with the smell of decay. I had set up floodlights around the barn, armed myself with my rifle, and waited. I wasn't going to let this thing take another animal without a fight. Then the lights flickered and went out. The generator had been ripped apart. My stomach clenched. That meant it was close, real close. A deep, unnatural howl shattered the silence. A sound that made my bones vibrate. I gripped my rifle tighter, stepping out into the open. The moonlight revealed a towering shadow just at the edge of the field, too big to be a wolf, too upright to be a bear. The Dogman. It stepped forward, its breath visible in the cold night air, its claws clicking against the dirt. Its massive muscular frame rippled under thick, matted fur. The snout twitched as it snarled, revealing long, yellowed fangs. And those eyes, burning with something far worse than hunger, malice. It charged. I fired. The bullet struck its shoulder, but it barely flinched. It was fast, too fast. I barely had any time to duck before it swiped at me, its claws cutting through the wooden fence post as if it were nothing. I ran, heart hammering in my chest. I needed a plan. Then I heard Ellen scream. It was near the house. I bolted toward the porch, my legs burning, lungs screaming for air. Ellen had locked herself inside with our son, but I knew the door wouldn't hold. The beast rammed its massive body against it, the entire house shaking with the force. I had one chance. I grabbed the canister of kerosene from the steps and ripped off the lid. My hands shook as I dosed the ground in front of the house. The creature turned its gaze toward me, nostrils flaring at the sharp scent. I pulled out a flare, struck it, and held it high. "Come on, you bastard!" It snarled, crouched, and lunged. I threw the flare. Flames erupted between us, a wall of fire licking at the beast's fur. It let out an ear-splitting howl, stumbling back. I fired again, this time aiming for its chest. The bullet hit true. It let out a bellowing roar, clawing at its wound as the fire spread. For the first time, I saw something in its eyes beside rage. Fear. It turned and ran, vanishing into the tree line, leaving behind only the stench of burned fur and the distant echo of its wail. The next morning, I found the trail of blood leading deep into the woods. I wanted to believe that was the end of it, that the Dogman was dead, or at least too wounded to come back. But 2 nights later, I woke to the sound of heavy breathing outside my window. The claw marks on my porch were fresh, and in the dirt, carved with inhuman precision, was a single word: run. And guys, that's the end of part 1. Stay tuned for part 2.